Seth Rollins. Colby Lopez, born May 28, 1986, is an American professional wrestler better known by the ring name Seth Rollins, currently signed to WWE, where he performs on the Raw brand. After signing with WWE in 2010, Lopez was sent to its developmental territory Florida Championship Wrestling, FCW, where he was renamed Seth Rollins and became the inaugural FCW Grand Slam champion. After WWE rebranded FCW into NXT, he became the inaugural NXT champion. Alongside fellow wrestlers Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns, he debuted on WWE's main roster at the 2012 Survivor Series as part of a faction called The Shield. He won his first main roster championship while with the group, the WWE Tag Team Championship with Reigns. Following the team's first breakup in June 2014, Rollins went on to become a two-time WWE Champion, one-time Universal Champion, two-time Intercontinental Champion, one-time United States Champion, four-time WWE/Raw Tag Team Champion, with Reigns, Ambrose, and Jason Jordan, the 2014 Money in the Bank winner, the 2015 Superstar of the Year and the 2019 Men's Royal Rumble winner. Prior to signing with WWE, Lopez wrestled under the ring name Tyler Black for Ring of Honor, Raw, where he held the Raw World Championship once and the Raw World Tag Team Championship twice, with Jimmy Jacobs, as well as the winner of the 2009 Survival of the Fittest tournament. He also wrestled for various independent promotions including Full Impact Pro, FIP, where he was a one-time FIP World Heavyweight Champion, as well as Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, PWG, where he was a one-time PWG World Tag Team Champion, also with Jacobs. Upon capturing the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in 2015, and after winning his first Intercontinental Championship, he became the 29th Triple Crown Champion and the 18th Grand Slam Champion. Rollins has headlined numerous major pay-per-view events for WWE, including WrestleMania 31. Industry veteran Sting, who wrestled his final match against Rollins, described him as the most talented professional wrestler he has ever seen or worked with. He was the cover athlete for video game WWE 2K18. Early life. Colby Lopez was born on May 28, 1986, in Buffalo, Iowa. He is of Armenian, German, and Irish descent. His surname, Lopez, comes from his Mexican-American stepfather. He graduated from Davenport West High School in 2004. As a teenager, he was an introvert and a big fan of rock and heavy metal music, who lived a straight-edge lifestyle. Rollins trained at a wrestling school owned by Danny Daniels on the border of Chicago and Oak Park, Illinois. Professional wrestling career. Independent circuit, 2005-2009. Lopez made his debut in 2005, wrestling in the Iowa independent scene under the ring name JUS. He then joined Ian Rodden's Independent Wrestling Association Mid-South, IWA, under the name Tyler Black, and entered the Ted Petty Invitational Tournament, defeating Sal Tomaselli before being eliminated by Matt Sydal in the quarterfinals in Hammond, Indiana on September 23, 2005. He soon joined NWA Midwest and won the promotion's Tag Team Championship with Marek Brave. The two successfully defended the NWA Midwest Tag Team Championship against Ryan Boz and Danny Daniels, Brett Wayne and Hype Gotti and Jason Rain and Marco Cordova several times in early 2006. He briefly appeared in Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, TNA, and teamed with Jeff Luxon in a loss to the Latin American Exchange, Homicide and Hernandez, on Impact. In October 2006. On May 25, 2007, while in a match with then Full Impact Pro, FIP, Tag Team Champions the Briscoe brothers, Jay and Mark Briscoe, in Melbourne, Florida, Black's tag team partner Marek Brave suffered a legitimate back injury, leading Black to pursue a singles career by competing in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, PWG, where he defeated Joey Ryan in his debut on June 10. At PWG's Life During Wartime on July 6, 2008, Black teamed with Jimmy Jacobs to win the PWG World Tag Team Championship by defeating Roderick Strong and El Generico, who was a replacement for Jack Evans. At FIP's event on December 20, Black defeated Go Shiozaka to win the FIP World Heavyweight Championship. At FIP's event on May 2, 2009, Davey Richards was awarded the FIP World Heavyweight Championship by forfeit when Black was unable to compete. Ring of Honor. The Age of the Fall, 2007-2009. At the Ring of Honor, Raw, pay-per-view taping of Man Up in September 2007, Black made his debut, alongside Jimmy Jacobs and Necro Butcher, with the three attacking the Briscoe brothers, and hanging Jay Briscoe from light rigging fashioned as a noose. Jacobs announced that the three had formed a stable called the Age of the Fall. The angle was so controversial that Raw decided to remove the footage from the pay-per-view that was being taped at the event. Black later made his Raw in-ring debut later that night in a dark match, wrestling Jack Evans to a no contest. At Glory by Honor 6 in November, Black defeated Alex Sugarfoot Payne, but was attacked by the Briscoe brothers following the match. He appeared with the Age of the Fall in their match against the Briscoe brothers during the main event. At Final Battle in December, Black and Jacobs defeated the Briscoe brothers to win the Raw World Tag Team Championship. They lost the championship 1 month later on January 26, 2008 to the No Remorse Corps, Davey Richards and Rocky Romero, when competing in an Ultimate Endurance match also involving the Hangman 3, Brent Albright and BJ Whitmer, and the team of Austin Aries and Bryan Danielson. At Take No Prisoners, Raw's 6th pay-per-view, Black challenged Nigel McGuinness for the Raw World Championship in a losing effort. At Up for Grabs, Black and Jacobs won an 8-team tournament to win the Raw World Tag Team Championship for a second time. The two lost the championship at Driven to the team of Kevin Stain and El Generico. Black had a second chance at the Raw World Championship at Death Before Dishonor 6 in New York City, when he faced McGuinness, Danielson, and Claudio Castagnoli in a 4-way elimination match, but McGuinness retained the title. At Final Battle in December 2008, after Black lost a number 1 contender match to Austin Aries, Jacobs turned on him, and Black was then attacked by Aries. At Full Circle, Black was given a non-title match against then Raw World Champion Nigel McGuinness on January 16, 2009 where Black was victorious. The following night, Black faced McGuinness in a title match, which ended in a time limit draw. On June 26 at Violent Tendencies, Black defeated Jimmy Jacobs in a steel cage match to end their feud. Raw World Champion and Departure, 2009-2010. In September 2009, Black took a hiatus after receiving surgery on his neck. On October 10, Black defeated Kenny King in a first-round match and then Claudio Castagnoli, Colt Cabana, Delirious, Chris Hero and Roderick Strong in the finals to win the 2009 Survival of the Fittest tournament, which earned him a match for the Raw World Championship. On December 19 at Final Battle 2009, Raw's first live pay-per-view, Black wrestled then Raw World Champion Austin Aries to a 60-minute time limit draw. Because of this draw, then Raw Commissioner Jim Cornette booked the two in a rematch between February 13, 2010 for the company's 8th anniversary show. The booking saw Cornette set up a judging panel with himself on and one person picked by each competitor, in order for there to be a decisive winner in case of another draw. Aries picked Kenny King while Black picked Roderick Strong, whom he guaranteed an Raw World Championship title shot should he win. At the event, Black pinned Aries to win the Raw World Championship. On April 3, Black retained the title in a 3-way elimination match against Austin Aries and Roderick Strong at the Big Bang pay-per-view. He also retained the title on June 19 at the following pay-per-view, Death Before Dishonor 8, in a match against Davey Richards. Black turned into a villain at the August 20 tapings of Ring of Honor Wrestling after news broke that he had signed a developmental contract with World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE. He threatened to take the Raw World Championship with him to WWE and refused to put the championship at stake in a match with Davey Richards on August 28, which he then lost by submission. On September 11 at Glory by Honor 9, in what would have been his final Raw appearance, Black lost the Raw World Championship to Roderick Strong in a no disqualification match with Terry Funk as a guest enforcer, ending his reign at 210 days after 7 successful title defenses. World Wrestling Entertainment / WWE. Developmental Territories, 2010-2012. On August 8, Lopez signed a developmental contract with WWE and was assigned to their developmental territory Florida Championship Wrestling, FCW, in September. On September 14, Black made his WWE debut in a dark match prior to the SmackDown taping by defeating Trent Beretta. Lopez debuted for FCW on September 30 under the name Seth Rollins, in a loss to Michael McGillicuddy. Rollins then faced Hunico on November 4 in the first ever FCW 15 match under 15-minute Iron Man rules where they fought to a 1-1 draw. Following this, Rollins, along with Hunico, Richie Steamboat, and Jinder Mahal, participated in the FCW 15 Jack Briscoe Classic Tournament. On January 13, 2011, Rollins defeated Hunico in the finals to win the tournament and became the inaugural FCW 15 champion. On March 25 at a house show, Rollins and Richie Steamboat defeated Damian Sandow and Titus O'Neil win the FCW Florida Tag Team Championship. Rollins and Steamboat eventually lost the championship to Big E Langston and Calvin Reigns. In July 2011, Rollins began a feud with Dean Ambrose. Ambrose and Rollins had their first match for the FCW 15 Championship in a 15-minute Iron Man match on the August 14 episode of FCW, which ended in a draw with neither men scoring a fall and, as a result, Rollins retained his title. A subsequent 20-minute rematch for the title 2 weeks later resulted in a similar 0-0 draw. A second 30-minute rematch for the title on the September 18 episode of FCW went to a time limit 2-2 draw and the match was sent into sudden death overtime, where Rollins scored a pinfall to win the match 3-2. On September 22, Rollins lost the FCW 15 championship to Damian Sandow by disqualification after Ambrose attacked Sandow late in the match. On February 23, Rollins defeated Leo Kruger to become the new FCW Florida Heavyweight Champion. Rollins lost the championship to Rick Victor at a house show on May 31. When WWE rebranded FCW into NXT in August 2012, Rollins' NXT TV debut took place on the second episode of the rebooted NXT at Full Sail University on June 27, when he defeated Jiro. Rollins entered the Gold Rush tournament to crown the inaugural NXT champion where he defeated Jinder Mahal in the tournament finals on the August 29 episode of NXT. Rollins earlier defeated Drew McIntyre in the quarterfinals and Michael McGillicuddy in the semi-finals. On the October 10 episode of NXT, Rollins had his first successful defense of his title after he beat McGillicuddy. On the January 2, 2013 episode of NXT, Rollins successfully defended the NXT Championship against Corey Graves, before losing it the next week on NXT to Big E Langston in a no disqualification match. After losing the title, Rollins continued to feud with Graves and attacked him during his number 1 contenders match for the NXT Championship with Conor O'Brien. Rollins then accepted Graves' challenge and defeated him in a lumberjack match to end the feud. The Shield, 2012-2014. On November 18, 2012 at Survivor Series, Rollins made his main roster debut alongside Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns, attacking Ryback during the triple threat main event for the WWE Championship, allowing CM Punk to pin John Cena and retain the title. The trio declared themselves the Shield, vowed to rally against injustice and would deny working for Punk, but they routinely emerged from the crowd to attack Punk's adversaries. This led to a tables, ladders, and chairs match being set up for the TLC, Tables, Ladders and Chairs pay-per-view event, where Ambrose, Rollins, and Reigns defeated Team Hell No, Daniel Bryan and Kane, and Ryback in their WWE debut match. The Shield continued to aid Punk after TLC, attacking both Ryback and The Rock in January 2013. It was revealed on the January 28 episode of Raw that Punk and his manager Paul Heyman had been paying the Shield and Brad Maddox to work for them all along. The Shield then quietly ended their association with Punk while beginning a feud with John Cena, Ryback, and Sheamus that led to a 6-man tag match on February 17 at Elimination Chamber, which the Shield won. The Shield then faced Sheamus, Big Show, and Randy Orton at WrestleMania 29, where the Shield emerged victorious in their first WrestleMania match. The following night on Raw, the Shield attempted to attack The Undertaker, but were stopped by Team Hell No. This set up a 6-man tag team match on the April 22 episode of Raw, which the Shield won. On the May 13 episode of Raw, the Shield's undefeated streak in televised 6-man tag team matches ended in a disqualification loss in a 6-man elimination tag team match against John Cena, Kane, and Daniel Bryan. On May 19 at Extreme Rules, Rollins and Reigns defeated Team Hell No in a tornado tag team match to win the WWE Tag Team Championship. On the June 14 episode of SmackDown, the Shield suffered their first decisive loss in televised 6-man tag team matches against Team Hell No and Randy Orton when Bryan made Rollins submit. Rollins and Reigns then successfully retained the WWE Tag Team Championship against Bryan and Orton at Payback on June 13. In August, the Shield began working for Chief Operating Officer Triple H and the Authority. Rollins and Reigns would also perform successful title defenses against the Usos during the Money in the Bank pre-show and the Primetime Players, Darren Young and Titus O'Neil, at Night of Champions. At Battleground in October, the recently fired Cody Rhodes and Goldust reclaimed their jobs back by beating Rollins and Reigns in a non-title match. On the October 14 episode of Raw, Rollins and Reigns lost the WWE Tag Team Championship to Cody Rhodes and Goldust in a no disqualification match following interference from Big Show. At Hell in a Cell on October 27, Rollins and Reigns failed to regain the titles in a triple threat match also involving the Usos. Tension was then sown in the Shield while their recent lack of success continued with a loss to CM Punk in a handicap match at TLC, Tables, Ladders and Chairs on December 15, after Reigns accidentally speared Ambrose. At the Royal Rumble on January 26, 2014, Rollins entered his first Royal Rumble match at number 2, had 3 eliminations and spent the second longest time in the match at 48 minutes before being eliminated by teammate Reigns. The next night on Raw, the Shield competed against Daniel Bryan, Sheamus, and John Cena in a 6-man tag team qualifying match to enter the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, but lost the match via disqualification after the Wyatt family interfered and attacked Cena, Bryan, and Sheamus. The Shield wanted revenge in a 6-man tag team match against the Wyatt family at Elimination Chamber on February 23 was arranged, in which the Shield lost. Later in March, the Shield began a feud with Kane, turning all of the members of the Shield face in the process. At WrestleMania XXX on April 6, the Shield defeated Kane and the New Age Outlaws, Billy Gunn and Road Dogg, thus winning their second WrestleMania match as a group. The Shield then feuded with Triple H, the coup of WWE and leader of the Authority, who then reformed Evolution with Batista and Randy Orton to take on the Shield. The Shield defeated Evolution at Extreme Rules and again at Payback in a no-holds-barred elimination match, in which no members of the Shield were eliminated. The Authority and WWE World Heavyweight Champion, 2014-2015. On the June 2 episode of Raw, Rollins betrayed Ambrose and Reigns to rejoin the Authority and turn heel. He then entered himself into the Money in the Bank ladder match at the titular event, which he won after Kane interfered. Rollins defeated Ambrose twice, the first being at Battleground in July via forfeit after their match was called off by Triple H after a pre-match attack by Ambrose on Rollins backstage, and the second in August at SummerSlam in a lumberjack match after hitting him with his Money in the Bank briefcase following interference from Kane. The following night on Raw, Rollins defeated Ambrose once again in a Falls Count Anywhere match by referee stoppage after Kane interfered again and helped Rollins execute a curb stomp on Ambrose through cinder blocks, giving him a kayfabe injury. In September, Rollins began feuding with Roman Reigns and a match between the two was set up for Night of Champions, but Reigns developed a legitimate incarcerated hernia which required surgery prior to the event, resulting in Rollins being declared the winner via forfeit, before being attacked by a returning Ambrose. Shortly after, Rollins adopted Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury as bodyguards, later being named J&J Security. The feud between Rollins and Ambrose culminated at Hell in a Cell, where Rollins defeated Ambrose in a Hell in a Cell match after Bray Wyatt interfered and attacked Ambrose. Following Hell in a Cell, tension began growing between Rollins and Randy Orton due to the authorities' preferential treatment of Rollins, leading to a singles match between the two on the November 3rd episode of Raw, which Rollins won. After the match, Orton attacked the authority but was overpowered, resulting in Rollins performing a curb stomp on Orton onto the steel ring steps, kayfabe injuring him. At Survivor Series on November 23, Rollins captained Team Authority in a 5-on-5 elimination tag team match against Team Cena, in which Rollins was the sole survivor for his team and the last man eliminated by Dolph Ziggler, resulting in the Authority being ousted from control of WWE. Rollins continued his feud with Cena in December at TLC, Tables, Ladders and Chairs in a tables match, which was won by Cena. On January 25, 2015, Rollins competed in a triple threat match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against Cena and champion Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, which Lesnar won after pinning Rollins. At Fastlane, Rollins, Big Show, and Kane defeated the team of Dolph Ziggler, Eric Rowan and Ryback. However, after the match, Randy Orton returned and attacked Noble, Mercury and Kane, while Rollins fled the arena. After weeks of teasing a reunion with the Authority, Orton eventually attacked Rollins, which led to a match between the two at WrestleMania 31 on March 29, which Rollins lost. Later that night, Rollins cashed in his Money in the Bank contract during Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns' WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, turning it into a triple threat match and pinned Reigns to win the title for the first time in his career. This made Rollins the first man to cash in his Money in the Bank contract at WrestleMania and during a title match. Rollins continued his feud with Orton after WrestleMania 31, which led to a steel cage match for the championship with Orton's RKO band and with Kane residing as special guest gatekeeper at Extreme Rules on April 26, where Rollins retained after interference from the latter. In May, tension rose between Rollins and Kane after the latter announced Rollins' title defense against Orton and Reigns at Payback. When Ambrose defeated Rollins in a non-title match on the May 4 episode of Raw, he was added to the match, therefore making it a fatal four-way match which Rollins won after performing a pedigree on Orton. Rollins then retained the championship against Ambrose on May 31 at Elimination Chamber after getting himself disqualified, and on June 14 at Money in the Bank in a ladder match. At Battleground on July 19, Rollins retained the championship by disqualification against Lesnar after The Undertaker interfered and attacked Lesnar. Rollins then reignited his feud with United States champion John Cena, defeated him in a winner-takes-all match at SummerSlam on August 23 for both the WWE World Heavyweight and the United States Championships after interference from Jon Stewart. With the win, Rollins became the first and only wrestler to hold both championships simultaneously until he went on to lose the United States Championship back to Cena at Night of Champions on September 20. But was able to retain the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against Sting later that night. On October 25 at Hell in a Cell, Rollins successfully defended the championship against Kane, and per the match stipulation, Kane was fired as Director of Operations. On November 4 during a match against Kane at a WWE live event in Dublin, Ireland, Rollins tore the ACL, MCL, and medial meniscus in his knee while attempting to execute a sunset flip power bomb. The injury required surgery, and it was estimated it would take Rollins out of action for approximately 6 to 9 months, therefore he was forced to vacate the WWE World Heavyweight Championship the next day, ending his reign at 220 days. On the December 21 episode of Raw, Rollins made a special appearance to accept his Slammy Award for 2015 Superstar of the Year. Feud with Triple H, 2016-2017. At Extreme Rules on May 22, 2016, Rollins returned from injury to attack Roman Reigns with a pedigree after his WWE World Heavyweight Championship defense against AJ Styles. The following night on Raw, Shane McMahon announced a match between Reigns and Rollins for the title at Money in the Bank. Meanwhile, multiple wrestling critics and analysts wondered if WWE was leaving money on the table by not slotting Rollins as a fan favorite and the negatively received Reigns as a villain. At Money in the Bank on June 19, Rollins defeated Reigns to win his second WWE World Heavyweight Championship, thus also becoming the first wrestler to legitimately defeat Reigns in singles competition on the main roster, only to lose the championship minutes later to Dean Ambrose, who cashed in the Money in the Bank contract he won earlier that night. In July, Rollins failed to regain the renamed WWE Championship. He would fail to regain the championship from Ambrose multiple times on both Raw and SmackDown. In the 2016 WWE Draft on July 19, Rollins was drafted to Raw as the brand's first draft pick. At Battleground on July 24, Rollins lost the triple threat match against Ambrose and Reigns for the newly renamed WWE World Championship, which became exclusive of SmackDown. Because of this, the WWE Universal Championship was introduced the following night on Raw. Rollins competed in the inaugural title match against Finn Balor at SummerSlam on August 21, in which he was defeated by Balor. After Balor relinquished the title the following night on Raw due to a legit shoulder injury sustained at SummerSlam, Rollins faced Big Cass, Kevin Owens, and Roman Reigns in a four-way elimination match for the title, but Triple H interfered and hit him with a pedigree and allowed Owens to win the championship, turning Rollins face. Rollins started a feud with Owens, facing him at Clash of Champions and Hell in a Cell, failing both times due to several interferences from Chris Jericho. At Survivor Series in November, Rollins formed part of Team Raw with Owens, Jericho, Braun Strowman, and Roman Reigns in a losing effort to Team SmackDown. The next month at Roadblock, End of the Line, Rollins defeated Jericho. In January 2017, Rollins started a feud with Triple H leading into WrestleMania. On January 28, Rollins appeared at NXT TakeOver, San Antonio, interrupting the show and demanding to confront Triple H, who came out only to order security to remove Rollins from the ring. On the January 30 episode of Raw, Rollins, who had been banned from the Royal Rumble the night before, confronted Stephanie McMahon and once again called out Triple H, demanding answers. Later that night, Triple H came out explaining that he betrayed Rollins because he felt that he was a failure on his own, and before Rollins could confront Triple H he was ambushed from behind by the debuting Samoa Joe, who choked him out in the Coquina Clutch. Due to the possibility of re-injuring his knee if he was to return to in-ring competition, Rollins later signed a contract to compete against Triple H in a non-sanctioned match at WrestleMania 33. Rollins emerged victorious at the event. After WrestleMania 33, Rollins began a feud with Samoa Joe, whom he defeated at Payback on April 30 to give Joe his first singles loss on the main roster. At Extreme Rules on June 4, Rollins competed in a fatal five-way Extreme Rules match to determine the number one contender to the WWE Universal Championship, also involving Balor, Joe, Reigns and Wyatt, which was won by Joe. The Shield Reunion, 2017-2018. On the July 10 episode of Raw, Rollins saved former stablemate and longtime rival Dean Ambrose from an attack by The Miz and the Miz, Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. After failing to gain Ambrose's trust for several weeks, the two argued in the ring on the August 14 episode of Raw and eventually brawled with each other before fighting off Cesaro and Sheamus, reuniting the team in the process. At SummerSlam on August 20, Ambrose and Rollins defeated Cesaro and Sheamus to win the Raw Tag Team Championship. Rollins and Ambrose successfully defended the titles against Cesaro and Sheamus at No Mercy in September. On the October 9 of Raw, the whole Shield officially reunited to battle The Miz and Miz, Cesaro and Sheamus and Braun Strowman, all of whom were common enemies amongst the members. The Shield was then scheduled to compete in their first match as a unit since June 2014, against the team of Strowman, Cesaro, Kane, The Miz, and Sheamus on October 22 at TLC in a 5-on-3 handicap tables, ladders and chairs match, but health issues kept Reigns out of action. He was replaced by Kurt Angle. Ambrose, Rollins, and Angle went on to win the match. Ambrose and Rollins were scheduled to face SmackDown Tag Team Champions the Usos in a non-title match at Survivor Series, but they lost the title back to Cesaro and Sheamus on the November 6 episode of Raw due to SmackDown's The New Day distracting the champions, ending their reign at 78 days. This led to a match between The Shield and The New Day at Survivor Series on November 19, which The Shield won. In December, Ambrose would suffer a torn biceps, sidelining him for approximately 9 months. On the December 25 episode of Raw, Rollins teamed with Jason Jordan and defeated Cesaro and Sheamus to become the new Raw Tag Team Champions. At the Royal Rumble on January 28, Rollins entered at number 18 in the Royal Rumble match, but he was eliminated by Reigns. Right after the Royal Rumble match, Rollins and Jordan lost the tag team titles to Cesaro and Sheamus, ending their reign at 34 days. Rollins and Jordan's tag team dissolved on February 6 after Jordan had neck surgery. Intercontinental Champion, 2018-2019. On the February 19 episode of Raw, Rollins competed in a 7-man gauntlet match, where he eliminated Roman Reigns in the first and then John Cena in the second fall, before he was eliminated by Elias. Rollins wrestled for 1 hour and 5 minutes, which is the longest performance in a match by any wrestler in the show's history. 6 days later, at the Elimination Chamber, Rollins was the 5th man eliminated by Braun Strowman in the Elimination Chamber match. On April 8, at WrestleMania 34, Rollins defeated Finn Balor and The Miz in a triple threat match to win the Intercontinental Championship for the first time in his career. With his win, Rollins became the 29th Triple Crown Champion and the 18th Grand Slam Champion in WWE history, respectively. After he defeated The Miz in the latter's rematch clause at Backlash on May 6, Rollins would go on to defend the title on numerous occasions, including several open challenges. In the end of May, Rollins started a feud with Elias, who attacked him with his guitar after Rollins interrupted his performance. The two eventually faced off for the Intercontinental Championship at the Money in the Bank on June 17, where Rollins prevailed. The following night on Raw, Rollins dropped the championship to Dolph Ziggler, after a distraction by Ziggler's ally Drew McIntyre, ending his reign at 71 days. Ziggler would retain against Rollins on several occasions, however, on August 19, at the SummerSlam pay-per-view, Rollins defeated Ziggler to win the championship for a second time, after enlisting the help of a returning Dean Ambrose. The next on Raw, Rollins reformed the Shield with Ambrose and Roman Reigns, preventing Braun Strowman from cashing in his Money in the Bank contract against Reigns, the Universal Champion. At Hell in a Cell in September, Rollins and Ambrose failed to win the Raw Tag Team Championship from McIntyre and Ziggler. At Super Showdown on October 6, the Shield defeated McIntyre, Ziggler, and Strowman in a 6-man tag team match. However, 2 nights later on Raw, the Shield was defeated by the same trio in a rematch, with Ambrose walking away from his teammates after their defeat. On the October 22 episode of Raw, Reigns announced that he would be taking a hiatus due to his returning leukemia. Later that night, Rollins and Ambrose defeated Ziggler and McIntyre to win the Raw Tag Team Championship, only for Ambrose to turn on Rollins as he attacked him, igniting a feud between the two and disbanding the Shield once again. Rollins and Ambrose's rage